Some members of the private sector whose businesses and investments in the interior are being affected by the ongoing protests at Linden gathered at a Georgetown club under the umbrella of the Private Sector Commission to voice their worry over the ongoing problem and what they believe ought to be done to quell the situation.
I, for one, suspect that the government is dragging their feet on an agreement with Solomon. And this is holding up everything. We know that they've been promised things already before Linden. And after a few days, after a few months, after a few years, everything have been thrown off the table and they're back to square one. So, in evaluating the situation, maybe Solomon does have a point to say, brother, you all sign off on what you're promising us and deliver.
They spoke openly and frankly about the impact the Linden protest was having on their businesses. Many of them used Linden to gain access to interior locations, and with the roads at Linden blocked, they have been cut off, and they're not happy about that.
You have poor Amerindians in Linden paying $45 and $55 a unit and finding the money to do it. So, I mean, how can you make them suffer out there and everybody else not?
These people has been suffering so long, I don't think they could meet the present rate as it is now. The government should look into it, but that does not mean the whole country has to suffer.
I understand that the situation is not going to allow the raw material to come out to our plants, so our plants are going to remain shut, gathering interest charges, electricity charges, and rent with zero production. I understand that. I accept that. But I'm telling you, in the forest, it's not easy for our workers.
Right. While we may support the action that the Lindeners have taken, it has gone on for far too long.
But two messages were clear throughout the meeting. The issue needed to be addressed by the government, and the president needs to travel to Linden to meet with the residents and listen to their concerns. The private sector members who gathered there were unanimous in their call for the president to head to Linden.
So we're urging the government and the Lindeners to create an opportunity to meet in Linden with those that are really concerned with the issues that are affecting them, and try as best as possible to find a workable solution. I think the message is very clear. I don't think Lindeners can feel at this point in time that they have not been heard. They have been heard. The entire Guyana has heard them. If no one knew what the importance of Linden is, or has been, they know today.
Don't let's drag this on for 20 days, 30 days, so the whole community suffers, and other communities, as I'm hearing from Linden and from all the people who are shipping flour or shipping whatever else they're shipping, that they can no longer ship, that you are now having a chain reaction where it is not Linden alone, it's everybody suffering. Why? Government must address it. The government, there was a unanimous call for the meeting to be held at Linden. I support that. Go and face the music. Go and face the people and say, well, look, this is what we're going to do, and these are the issues. So this is how I see it.
Several sectors, including the mining and forestry sectors, are feeling the squeeze of the Linden protests. The private sector was encouraged to look also at the concerns of Lindeners and what's really worrying them.
What struck me is that the mindset has to change. People are moving through Linden, going up to Lethem, driving through to Lethem, Madia, so on. Linden could very well be the truck stop with all the facilities that you would get, fuel, groceries, you name it. People wouldn't have to come down to town, it's there. And these things create employment, they create wealth. But the focus is too much on the bauxite industry.
Meanwhile, APNU member Aubrey Norton, who is a part of the Region 10 delegation that has been meeting with the president on the issue, today at a press conference said the concerns of Lindeners are real. And while businesses complain about how they are being affected, Linden does not benefit from those businesses and their investments.
But one of the problems Linden has is that everything passes through. Nothing stops. All Linden is saying, pass through, but let benefits come to Linden. Lindeners sit every day and see logs coming from Kokwani, and they do not benefit. In Ituni, you have a situation where the best lands are given to people outside of Ituni, and the people of Ituni have got to journey way down to the back in an uneconomical way.
The Bauxite Bauxite Company said it stands to be affected more than any other business in the country. One is located in Linden, and so far the company has been unable to fulfill bauxite orders as the Linden protests entered a fourth week and operations have come to a standstill.